Alright guys, so we are back. I got another video for you today. This one is going to be exactly like the last one. It seems a little redundant, except I've got a different GMC Yukon Denali here that we are going to replace this front bumper on. This is going to be utilizing the same exact bumper that I put on my Yukon in the last video. What I mean by that is the same exact link that I purchased mine from. We went ahead and purchased another one to go on this Yukon. Josh, if you want to follow me around to the other side of the car, I'll show you why we want to replace this one in particular. When this vehicle was purchased, it has this section of the bumper that has been cut open. I don't know what they ran into, but they did nice little damage, and I think once it had like popped out really weird, and overall it doesn't look very good. So after trying out my bumper and replacing it and deciding what a great value and quality of product the bumper was, I went ahead and pulled the trigger to go on this one. Now I did learn some things from the last time, so I'm actually going to show you potentially a little different methods of doing things that I think I might have done more work than what was necessary last time in order to, because I didn't know how they came apart. Now I know how they come apart, so we're going to try a couple different methods of replacing this time around and see if we don't find one that's better. Okay, so last time when I did this, and if you guys watched that video, obviously I recommend you do so. I removed all of the screws that held this front grille on, and then I basically ripped my grille out. Mainly, I didn't try to salvage it at all because I knew I was going to be replacing the grille because mine was broken. This one is in good shape, no chrome chipping or anything like that. Everything is intact, so I actually need to salvage this one. And when I had the other bumper off, I had a realization that I think I don't actually need to pull this grill out until the bumper is off the car. So that is what I'm going to try today. I'm going to remove these top bolts here, and then I'm going to, once again, we're going to do the bolts in the fender liner, the bolts that support the brackets underneath, and then that should free this whole bumper up. And I'm going to try to remove this grill with the bumper, and then doing so will allow me to access the clips on the back side of the grill. And if I can access those clips, I should be able to pop the whole grill out without breaking anything, which means I'll be able to reinstall this grill back into the new bumper. So wish me luck, because I don't want to have to pay for a new grill. What I've done so far is I got all the bolts undone up top. The ones that I talked to you about earlier, I got the bolts that hold the fender liner on, which there's 2 bolts, 2 screw bolts, and then there's 2 little push-in clips. And if you've ever worked on an automotive plastic interior, you're going to be familiar with those clips. And then there's 2 bolts underneath. There's a bracket on each side, and then there's one bolt that holds that bumper to those brackets, so to the frame of the vehicle. So see, pretty easy. I went ahead and I popped the corners off. I think I'm ready to go ahead and try to remove this bumper and see what I get. All right. Yeah, that all came off in one piece, just like I was hoping it would. So now hopefully I'll be able to remove this grill without damaging it. Okay, so basically what I went ahead and did is there's like a foam bumper support that just sits up in here and kind of makes it rigid. It just has these plastic screws, you can see that in my last video, holding it in. I went ahead and removed it because now I have access to the clips that hold my grill in place. Having access to that now tells me that I will be able to remove this grill without damaging it. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling these clips through and getting it replaced. And we are back. A little bit of an update shot here. We basically got this bumper all swapped over. We got our foam support swapped over. We got our fog lights swapped over. We got our mounting brackets swapped over. Our lower valance swapped over. This lower chrome trim piece swapped over. I'm going to wait to put the actual grill back in until after I mount it, get it mounted up on the car, just because I think it'll be a little easier handling it. But other than that, we are ready to go ahead and toss it up on the car. So we are all wrapped up. Everything went way smoother for the most part this time. There's always little things that you run into, or some parts where that previous bumper had obviously been impacted and it cracked some plastic, but everything's attached. Everything seems to be good. Fitment seems to be about on par as the last one I did, so I mean not 100% perfect, but pretty darn close. Good enough for the $270 price tag that you're paying for this bumper. This bumper comes from a company called Bumpers That Deliver. They sell on Amazon. I don't know where else they sell. But $270, painted to match, shipped to your door. You really can't beat that. I'm going to run this down to the car wash. I'll get some after photos when I'm done. And other than that, I think we're good to go.